Right, it is Saturday, end of November. Last week we had quite a cold few days. We had 3 nights of frosts, and then we had the storm Bert over the weekend. Last weekend that is, so this weekend is mild and very still, but very cloudy. Anyway, so I've been quite busy at work, so I haven't had a chance to do any videos this week. So this is what's going on now anyway. So we had the frost, we had 3 nights of frosts here, lowest down to -2.5 stroke 3, -3. So pretty cool one night, and the other 2 nights were about -1. So we lost a lot of the soft foliage stuff, obviously to be expected. But yeah, a lot of the stuff is still looking good. So this is actually my best microclimate in the garden. It's quite sheltered, gets the sun all day, and everything seems to survive quite well. We've even got some ferns at the back there which are normally deciduous. They're still green at the minute, so yeah, that is pretty mild here. As you can see, the Camadoria radicalis, hardy parlour palm, no effects whatsoever from that. I'll say -3, it probably was closer to -3. Yeah, so everything around here is still looking good. Even some soft leaf greenery here still looking good. I think this is a type of arum lily. It's not the Xanthodices. That's a sort of dwarf type, but that's quite tropical. Look, it always reminds me of a philodendron leaf. But yeah, fits in quite well. Yeah, so in general everything's good. I managed to mulch last week, so again this is going to be a week and a half ago since my last video. So at that point I was mulching before the deep frosts came, so I did manage to mulch all the garden. So yeah, everything in this area, no protection whatsoever. So the cord lines absolutely fine at them sort of temperatures. -3, not an issue. Obviously the pink china, seeing the effects of the frost, so that's what they look like now. Again, they're in a tub of water, which is like a filter to the pond, and they stay in there all winter, so the rhizomes are sitting in water all winter. That'll freeze solid, and yet they still pull through every year. So Storm Bert, we had more damage from Storm Bert I think than we did from the frosts. So the polytunnel frame, the cover on that is a cheap Temu clear tarp, and it did split, came off the reinforced edging, and that's flapping about, and that did actually pull the whole frame over. Luckily that sort of blew it this way, just into the lawn here, so it didn't actually damage any plants in that sense. But yeah, so I've had to cut that in half now. So it was 4 meters, it's now only 2 meters. And I've made use of the frame until the next storm, and we'll see what that does to that. I've staked it in better this time, and it's smaller, so it shouldn't catch the wind quite so much. So we'll see how that does. So really, that's only sort of protecting the Washingtonia robusta and these cord lines here now, whereas before the frame did cover the queen palm, mountain form queen palm there. So I've got to make a new cover for that. Be doing that next week, so I'll probably do a video on that when it's done. So that'll just be a smaller cover for that one, just to keep again the rain and frosts off. That took -6 a couple of nights last year and very little damage. Right, so all the other frames held up well. So needless to say, this one over the Livingstone chinensis and the Nico palm. Again, this is like more of a solid structure, so I didn't expect this one to be any issues. I've got a heat cable wrapped around these, but I didn't turn it on at that point. Basically, because I haven't got it rigged up yet. I've got the plug in a waterproof socket there, which is not connected up to the mains yet. So I'll be doing that, connecting that to a thermostat, so it comes on at about 1 degree and turns off at 3 degrees or something like that, just to keep the frost off the centre of the palms underneath there. Yeah, so no issues with that. A lot of the other greens still looking good. Obviously Tetrapanics didn't like the -3, so we've more or less lost the leaves on that. And the fuchsia again, that didn't like them sort of temperatures either. But stuff like the mower's toes, absolutely solid. That'll take up to, I mean, we had -6 last year and it took no damage from that, so I'd imagine the -8, even -10, that'd probably take without too much issue. I didn't cover any of the bootias, again -3 degrees Celsius, so that's sort of the borderline at the point where I would put a fleece bag over them, but I didn't. Again, for anyone who's got any sort of tender palms and they use fleece, again, just on for the cold nights. Ideally one with a zip, so you can unzip it during the day, let some air in, let it warm up a bit, and then zip up at night. But yeah, no, I didn't use any fleece bags for that little cold snap. I don't know if I mentioned this, I've got a lady palm here, which I've just put a pop-up greenhouse over, so that's pegged in the ground. It's in quite a sheltered area, to be fair, so I didn't actually blow about. I didn't blow off or anything like that, but yeah, so I do leave the door open all the time, and if it's a particularly mild day, then I'll zip it right up and leave it open. But yeah, just to give it, again, just a little bit of protection. I mean, I wouldn't generally advise covering palms fully all winter, but again, that's got a zip door on it, so I can open that up, and that is open to airflow at all times. Tree ferns, again, I haven't protected any of my tree ferns. They've got natural leaf fall in them at -3. No damage to the fronds at that stage. We didn't get any snow. There's no snow sitting on them or anything like that. They did have a light frost, but even the newest leaves, by the looks of it, haven't had any reaction to that. So this is what, 4 days after the frosts, and yeah, no. So what am I saying? A week and over a week ago, the frosts. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting confused. Yeah, and no damage showing up, so I know they're not damaged from that particular cold spell. And again, to be expected, the cannas are. They're all gone. They were in the middle of flowering and doing their thing and looking just as good as they were in the summer, and then them frosts, they're gone now, so I can cut them back, but I haven't actually cut anything back yet, so I thought I'd do a video first to see what everything looks like before I cut back and tidy. Yeah, so the centre palm bed and the Jabrea held up to the winds. We had 60-mile-per-hour winds for 2 days, and it all held up surprisingly. I mean, looking at it, I mean, to be fair, it doesn't look like much, but because it's a fairly aerodynamic shape, that helps obviously. But yeah, that held up no problem whatsoever, so no issues with that. The Colocasia esculenta, we can see, been zapped by the frosts, apart from the ones right in the centre where we've got a couple of leaves still green, and it's actually that one here, because it's been fairly mild, it's actually pushing a new leaf as well. So even after -3, just with a bit of the overhead protection, it's surprising how much difference it makes. So yeah, that is actually still growing. In fact, I did have, where did I see it? Yeah, again after the frosts, there's a pink china here which got zapped to the ground, and then it's, well, not quite zapped to the ground, and we can see that it's now opened a new leaf again. So yeah, they do take surprisingly low temperatures for exotic looking plants. The gingers literally just collapsed and turned to mush. No surprise. The bananas, well, we've got the dwarf Cavendish here, which looked fine up until the frosts, and now that is absolutely dead. Saying that feels solid, but I mean, we know they're not going to survive winter. They're a tropical species. Yeah, so the Musa Bajou at the back, and the Cyclinensis bananas, foliage is all gone on them, so I will cut them back. And if we get anything more than -3, I'll probably protect the stems as well. But again, at that -3 point, I didn't really bother. Washingtonia robusta, small one, totally out in the open, no protection. Maybe the oldest leaf has got a slight bit of brown around the edges, but in general, looking pretty good. -3, not an issue for that. And what we got, cordyline, emerald star. Again, this is in under some sort of foliage there of some variegated grass, and no damage from the cold there on that. So the wind, like I say, probably caused more damage than the frosts. So we've got a lot of the Urandodanax, the Rondodanax, Spanish reed. I always don't know why I struggle with that. Spanish reed, variegated. Yeah, cold's hit it a bit, but the winds have knocked down a few canes, so I've got to go in there and sort that out as well. So the biggest annoyance from the wind was the Torbay Dazzler. So that is actually down. Down but not out. It is still fully rooted. So it's not snapped, that's just unrooted itself a bit. So I'd say it might have lost half its roots. So what I'm going to do with that is leave it exactly how it is. I could upright it and stake it, but I think with being winter and possibly more storms on the way, it's probably best just to leave it as it is. You could stake it up, you might break a few roots doing that, and it's wobbling about in the wind again, could break more roots, could kill it. So I'm going to leave it down there, and in the spring we'll do something with that, see if we can upright it and put a stake in it. But it has sent out a side shoot anyway. I think it got a little bit of winter damage one year, and it's got a few shoots on there, so even if the main one has to come out, they will take its place. So what else we got? We've got the golden lotus banana, Musella lesiacarpa. Again, foliage zapped, not surprised, I expected that. So at this point now I can, again with the general tidy up now, I can tidy this up. I will cut everything back to anything that's still green, so we'll cut everything back to the green, and then I will put a fleece bag over that, and I'll fleece it first, and then I'll put a plastic clear cover over the top of that, and that's what I do every year. And you think that'd sweat and rot, but it doesn't. That works for me. I've done it for 3 years on the trot, come back every year, so that's what I'll be doing again. So yeah, we'll cut all that off. Nice little clump that now. Right, so some of us may have brought, if you're into your palms, may have got your booty agarus this year because they've been a little bit more available. The booty agarus aerospaither. Again, I haven't protected this at -3. I haven't protected it, but anything more than that, I will. Again, just a fleece bag over the top. Pre-preparation for that, like all the other the booties. Also, I will tie up all the fronds, tie them all up so it makes it easier to get the fleece bag on and off over winter. They will stay tied up all winter. That certainly doesn't hurt them. There's still plenty of airflow through it, and again, just on the cold nights, frost bags on up to a week. You can leave them on as long as you've got a zip so you can open and shut. Let a bit of air flow through. That'll be fine for a week, maybe even 2 weeks. But yeah, as soon as it's mild, take them fleece bags off. So that's what I'll be doing with this one. Just a fleece bag, tying up the fronds and fleece bagging it. And to be fair, that's been sort of hid up all summer with all the other foliage around it. But that has, you know, I brought 2 of these. I've got one in a pot which has done quite well. I think it opened 3 fronds. This has opened 2 fronds in the ground. But I was sort of feeding the one in the pot a bit more and watering it more. So, but yeah, no, in general, I was exactly what I expected, sort of growth-wise for that. Yeah, so it's just a matter of going through, cutting back all the dead cannas, tidying up the foliage, and just on and off with the fleece bags on the cold nights. Another big Colocasia esculenta here. Again, the main leaves have died, but we've still got a new leaf pushing out. So yeah, you'd be surprised how much cold it actually takes to take them to the ground. Yeah, so all the structures down this end have held up nicely. So we say we got -3 outside. The coldest it got in here was -1.5. So a 1.5 degrees difference, which is not a lot, but that added on to the fact that it's not got a frost hitting these plants, that will make all the difference between damage and no damage. So yeah, everything in there at the moment is looking good. Even the pygmy date palm there, Phoenix Robolini, in the ground, still looking fine at the moment. Arid bed cover held up to the winds, and everything under there's looking fine. So another sensitive plant we've got is the Echium, and we can see it has got a little bit of a browning at -3. But yeah, I think I will cover that with fleece for the next lot of frosts, or any cold temperatures where there's going to be a frost. I will cover that just to see if we can get one through winter. We've got the old peacock orchids, they're still flowering, but everything else, again, sort of colocasia wise and soft foliage wise, is definitely seeing the effects of the cold. Yeah, not quite turned to mush. We've still got a new leaf trying to push out on this one. So that is pretty much what's going on at the moment. So the next video we'll probably do look at the cover for the queen palm, and we'll leave it there, I think. So yeah, a nice mild day, about 12-13 degrees, but very, very still. That is what is going on at the moment. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.